Hey folks, lack of response here. We are doing another round of the good, the bad, and the weird. Still working out of the Begg vault case. Our next subject is this one that we saw when we were talking about the mini Steelcraft Bodega. This is the full-size Todd Begg Steelcraft Bodega. We are going to talk about the good, which is things I like about it. The bad, which is things I don't. The weird, which is things that make it interesting, unique, different. And in accordance with prophecy, we start with measurements and size comparisons. Measurements, we're looking at 9 inches. It's a good 9-inch knife with just a smooch under 4 inches of blade. So that is size comparison. We want to zoom in and look at markings on the blade. That is where it says Todd Begg Steelcraft. That was their production line. I know from what I heard, they used a couple different OEMs over the course of the Steelcraft series, just depending on who was good at doing what in business dealings. Looks like that's skeletonized out a little on the inside there. It looks like there is... The backspacer does not look to have as much of a fancy finish on the inside as on the Mini, but it still has that nice texturing on the outside. We have titanium scales that are also ribbed for your pleasure, with texturing on both sides. Looks like they've gotten the hang of not making those pocket clip screws stand proud. We'll talk about that in a minute. There is a steel lock bar insert with that little over travel stop, so the lock bar can only bend out just far enough to unlock. I believe these blades were S35 VN. They don't say on the blade, and I'm too lazy to go looking. You can try to find the old listings for these knives from 10 plus years ago if you want. So, the good. Okay, this knife, as you can probably see, is a little reminiscent of that Kylo Ren mask from the Star Wars sequels, and I like that aesthetic. It has the Todd Begg fuller with holes, and that fuller is sufficiently machined that you can get a finger there and use it to flick the knife open. That is very nice. It opens with a nice sound. Let's see if you can hear it. I don't know why knife people are so concerned about the sound of their knives, but we are. If it sounds good, it's more enjoyable. Is that crud or is that... I think that's just crud. Yeah, it's just crud. There was some crud up here. That's fine. My knives get crud on them because I use them. Okay, so we have a nice blade. It's a pretty tall blade. It is hollow ground. The hollow only goes up about halfway though. And then we get into this flat and the swedge. The swedge is nicely machined down, so it's nice and thin if you need to do some kind of poking. And it's got a nice long belly, so it will be slicey. It'll open your mail, it'll open boxes, it'll cut fruit, all the pocket knifey tasks. That is a good blade. It's got nice full pivot colors. It looks like pivot is only tooled on one side. The flipper tab is that nice Todd Begg flipper, nice and rounded, very comfortable. Not a lot of jimping, but you don't need it. It is very comfy to use. It's not going to poke you, no matter how you're gripping the knife. The handle ergos are also good. It's got that texturing that we talked about on the sides and on the back spacer. And it is long enough that you can hang back here and have good ergos, or reach up here and have good ergos. So wherever you want to put your hand, you're comfy. The pocket clip screws, as we can see here, are not sticking up proud of that. They're like recessed into the titanium, or maybe is that one piece? Yeah, it is one piece. So that is a single piece clip there. And the screws are recessed into that so they don't stick up proud like on the miniature version that I was griping about a few videos ago. Let me reach over. You can see what I mean there, how the screws kind of stick up. And they don't do that here. Let's see, we have that cracked ice finish inside the mini backspacer. And it is just a smooth finish there. That's not a problem though. So it's not going to be in the bad. It might go into the weird. So the blade is good. The handle is good. The texturing is good. This was the color scheme I wanted. I think there were a few more back in the day when these were available. But at that time I was going bonkers for the new Star Wars movies. And I wanted the black and silver ones that looked like Kylo Ren. So that is what I did. I got what I wanted and I'm glad it was available. And I enjoy it. So, the bad? What would be bad about this knife other than that I feel like Todd Begg kind of dropped off the map after these. I saw there were like 2 other Steelcraft series models. There was a Quaken and a Glimpse, and I don't see them around anymore. I do not know what happened to Todd Begg. It's bad they dropped off the map because they were making these beautiful things. When I first got into the hobby, a lot of the knife YouTubers at the time, like Jim Skelton, if you remember him, you might be old enough to need to schedule a colonoscopy. But Jim Skelton had a Todd Begg custom Bodega, not a production, that he just loved the death out of, and you know, he was just crazy for that thing. And that's why I bought this, because he always spoke so highly of it, and well, I couldn't swing a Todd Begg custom price on my paycheck. A production knife was more doable. So I did, and it's bad they're not around anymore, because I feel like a lot of people would appreciate this. You could put a top liner lock on there if you wanted to tart it up for the modern sensibilities. You could just leave it as it is and say, hey, we're playing old school today with titanium frame locks. That still go over very well. It's bad that Todd Begg's not around anymore. The knife itself is fine. The weird. This is where I got to get into comparisons with the little brother. This one has much better ergos. This one has slightly... It's weird that they didn't bring a lot of the nice details from the mini over to the full size. I can't remember which one came out first, so it could be... They started out with a full size with a plain pocket clip and plain inner surface on the back spacer. But then to make the mini more interesting, they gave it the cracked ice finish. See, here's that cracked ice finish. It's weird they didn't do the cracked ice finish on this one, because it looks like they hit all the other buttons in terms of getting the texturing right. I notice this one does not have the IKBS, like we can see here. The mini has the loose bearings, which is bad. This one does not have loose bearings, so this one is using cage bearings, which is good. It is way easier to reassemble a knife that uses cage bearings than it is one with loose bearings, because it's harder for the bearings to get away from you. So, the good... Oh wait, we got a little... I think that's the IKBS logo on the flipper tab. They just hit it. There it is. So maybe this one's on the loose bearings too. I don't know. I'm not going to take it apart to find out. I don't want that headache. So, good. Good ergos, nice blade, distinctive design. The bad, what happened to Todd Begg? Do you know? Tell us in the comments. The weird. It doesn't have some of the little finishing touches as the mini version. I know some people might gripe about a fuller with holes catching crud. I've never been super worried about that. You can just spritz it with, you know, Windex. If you got a little spray bottle of rubbing alcohol, that they sell at some pharmacies. You can use that as well. That's how I clean my knives. But yeah, so that's the good, the bad, and the weird of the Todd Begg Steelcraft Bodega. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you know what happened to Todd Begg knives? Tell us that in the comments too. Please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Have a good one.